stadium do that. Remember the guy in Cleveland did the whole.
Oh yeah,
he slid in it.
Yeah,
I just got disgusted.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Notre Dame, Ohio State, 22.1 million average viewers, says Nielsen. Who knows what that means? There's some stories coming out of that game. For instance, I mentioned it a few different times. Jeremiah Smith is going to get a massive offer immediately after this season's over. That's what the NIL is. That actually led to Coach Saban saying, to your point about that, we need some sort of, we shouldn't be saying that Jeremiah Smith might be gone from Ohio State immediately after this national championship, because the way the world is, it's like, well, there is a chance. And allegedly, Jeremiah Smith has been offered $4.5 million. Carnell Tate, the other wide receiver alongside Ibuka and J.J. Smith, $1 million plus offer in the transfer portal. We don't know what's real and what isn't real in these reportings. Remember, North Carolina allegedly offered Quinn Ewers $8 million or something. Michael Lombardi said, that didn't come from me. I don't know who that. We like Quinn Ewers, but we're not spending $8 million on a quarterback, especially if he's never done anything here. There is every team in college ball that would try to get Jeremiah Smith on their team. So I assume Ohio State's going to have to deal with that. And will they just have to up their roster, up their salary cap? And is Jeremiah Smith the guy that says, I don't even want to hear it? I'm cool with what I'm doing right here. I know I'm on a trajectory to get to the NFL.
Luckily, Ohio State feels like that's not a place that wide receivers normally leave. With that Heartline, with Ryan Day, with Chip Kelly now, with how well Jeremiah Smith performed in that offense just as a freshman, you would hope that he would realize that and not be antagonized away. Carnell Tate, I have seen a bunch of stuff about if he will or not, but also being the number 2 to Jeremiah Smith in Ohio State offense, just like Emeka Buka was to Jeremiah Smith, and then Marvin Williams Jr. Last year. Like, that's not a bad spot either. You would hope these guys realize this, but no, like Saban said, this shouldn't. Like, this sucks. Like, that is a thing that Ohio State's like. I guess they earned it, but Ohio State should have the money to keep their guys.
Yeah, and we talked about them having the money at the beginning of the season. They're not the only ones. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of money. And all you need is one donor, one booster to be like, I want Jeremiah Smith on our team. Mm-hmm. How much money are you willing to pay? $10 million? I don't know. What does he want? What do we need to get him here? Because he's a game changer. And by the way, he is. And I hope you get all the money you deserve, Jeremiah, because of how great you are, how humble you are, your work ethic, and what you do on a football field. He changes the math. We were on the field watching it. Even against Texas, he did not play great, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did not play great.
Didn't have a bunch of production.
He had 1 catch for 3 receptions. Well, he had a safety, linebacker, and a corner over top of him. That opens up everything else for maybe Judkins, Henderson, Tate, and Ibuka, to your point in there. Mm-hmm. He's a game changer. He's a math changer. And Chip Kelly was just starting to cook with him with 1 year. Hopefully it all gets figured out. Notre Dame now, they also have some stuff going on. Mm-hmm. Center for Notre Dame, Pat Coogan, the one who gives the pregame speech. And at the end, he goes, for God, for country, and for Notre Dame in football. Mm-hmm. Every single week was their leader. He's entered a transfer portal alongside Rocco Spindler. These are 2 key pieces, obviously, to that Notre Dame offensive line, which was able to get them all the way to the national championship. I guess they weren't the starters going into the year, though, Tony?
Yeah, so when I saw the news, I was like, that feels weird, because not only it feels like a team that just got to the national championship, you would think guys wouldn't want to be leaving there. And then on top of that, Ohio State got to the national championship and they get $20 million. That $20 million goes to the Big Ten. Notre Dame doesn't have a conference, so they just got $20 million. So I'm like, they're not going to have a problem paying their players. Like, they can't be. That's why. So I looked it up. They were not starters to begin the season. They became starters because of injuries. They're both graduates, and if the starters that were supposed to start at the beginning of the season, I believe, are back. So it was kind of a situation where were they going to be starters still? So I thought it might be something, but the more you look into it, and they have 2 5-star freshmen coming in, so it might just be like a numbers game situation.
Hey, Pat, you're a dog.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're a leader. I'm excited to see where you end up at. You can come get a hard edge at West Virginia. We would love you over there. We would love him over there. I assume he's going to end up going big.
I think Tennessee. Was he the one?
One of their linemen.
Yeah, one of their other ones. Yeah. But also, like, what we've been talking about with how long the season is, like, granted, you don't want, obviously this is, having 2 starters, whether or not they were starters at the start of the year, like, you need a bunch of depth on your offensive line. And that's kind of what killed them, going down the stretch, was they had to plug and play with just a bunch of these different combinations. So that's going to be much harder going forward, obviously, when you got these 4- and 5-star recruits who are, kind of buried on the depth chart and they want to go somewhere and they want to play. But in today's college football, like you almost need to be, if they're going to be playing 16-game seasons, like you almost need to be 3 deep at every position on the offensive line.
Okay, Notre Dame's going to have to fill in another very vital role. Al Golden, defense coordinator, has finalized a deal to become the Bengals defense coordinator.
Wow.
Lou Anarumo, Bengals defense coordinator for the past 10 years or whatever, is now with the Indianapolis Colts as DC. I liked his opening press conference, said, I'm going to tell the truth to everybody around here every single day. Got a lot of talent. Hopefully he's able to do well. Al Golden, what he was able to do at Notre Dame this year, fantastic. You know, this is a part of being great. You know, the Detroit Lions are kind of going through that right now. Yeah. Notre Dame's going through it. This is a part of it. Whenever you win, there's enough to go around. It doesn't mean it's going to be with you, though, or with the team that you're currently on. People are going to try to pluck greatness. Al Golden heading back to the Cincinnati to be with the Bengals. How do you feel about the move there at Boston, Connor?
I think it's awesome for Al Golden. You know, it's kind of sweet. We saw with Jeff Hafley last year from going from BC to, you know, Green Bay, and granted he was the head coach, but I don't think this affects Notre Dame as much as like the transfers, just because Marcus Freeman is the defensive guy over there, right? He's kind of the one steering the ship. I know he's not calling plays, but because he is a defensive guy, do you think that matters?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about the DB coach maybe for Notre Dame getting promoted to defense coordinator. So hopefully you're able to hire from within, which is a massive deal in the NFL. Yeah. It is going to be a big deal in college ball as we go forward. You know, we talked about the Detroit Lions just a couple seconds ago, you know, losing their coordinators. First time ever anybody wants anybody from Detroit. Detroit Lions fans weren't necessarily thrilled with the move.
Don't know how to deal with it.
Terrion Arnold actually almost just said, you know what?
He doesn't know how to deal with it either.
To hell with it. Good morning. Let me check my phone, see if anybody hit me up, and we're down. Sliding all the way down, sits down, takes a breather. Wow, tough way to start the day. Everything's bad in Detroit right now, Evan. What the hell's going on up there?
Yeah, I don't like this. I'm just happy that I didn't watch this and we had a game on Sunday. Then I would have been really worried. Imagine if he got hurt on there and we were in the NFC Championship. But yeah, I'm hoping he's okay.
Well, how about him being so incredibly athletic that he saves himself, takes a good bump, doesn't hit his head, and then just rides the wave and then gets to the bottom and goes, wow, good morning to me, I guess. And then he posts it, tough start to that day.
Think about us too. You know, we always like, there's stories like this that come out. If there wasn't video, we'd be like, yeah, sure, you fell down the steps.
Yeah. How about him checking it back? Is that camera? It is.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I slid all the way down and then just casually sat there. And he's like, here's the film, puts it up there. Shout out to Terrion Arnold. He's part of a defense that's going to continue to get better, although they need a new DC up there, right?
Yes, sir, they do.
We should add them to the graphic, actually. Detroit needs a new OC and a DC, right?
Yeah, yes, they do. And the rumors that I've seen, your guy, Calvin Shepard, they think that he could do it.
It's not Calvin Klein or... Okay, it's Kelvin.
Or the
What I
Santa
say?
Claus.
Why don't you have a little bit of respect for this guy?
What'd I say?
You call him Calvin
Calvin
Shepard.
Shepard.
Scott Calvin.
Kelvin.
Shepard.
Yeah, it's not Scott. It's not
Calvin.
Santa Claus.
Kelvin.
Although he would be a great DC.
I think so. They should think about
Scott
interviewing
Calvin.
Scott Calvin.
From the area.
Ho Zizo. He is Michigan
Michigan,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, he is a Michigan man. Loves building cars in his spare time. Maybe put him in there. There is a recording coming out now of Ipe Mitsuhara conning a bank into giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars as if he was Shohei Ohtani. Shout out to the New York Times, The Athletic, for uncovering this.
Who am I speaking with?
Shohei Ohtani.
Thank you. How may I help you?
I tried to make a wire transfer a couple of days ago. They told me that